I wanted people to know how important this is. It's great that we have a product. It's great that it's a great vodka. All those things are wonderful. Rights are being removed from individuals every day. And that can't continue. That's not acceptable. My history in theater put me into a social group that had a high proportion of gay men and women in it. And they became very close friends of mine. I moved to Los Angeles in the 80s. It was kind of the height of the exposure for HIV. I lived in West Hollywood. It was predominantly gay community. I saw how it ravaged that community, and I wanted to do whatever I could do to try and give back to help the inequities I saw happen every day back then.
When you start to make a friend and you start to put a face on it, it changes your world and it changes your dynamic. You are no longer just that person, or you are no longer just that group. You're like, hey, that's my friend, or I know her. I've been to their house for dinner. That's their family.
My business partner and I had a magazine in San Antonio. I'd moved back. We'd become business partners. And a major brand came to us and said, we love your demographic. Will you host parties for us? We'll buy your back cover and we'll give you all the vodka you can give away at these parties. And we said, let us think about that. Okay, we'll do it.
The inner workings of the spirits world are like one of the best kept secrets. No one ever talks about it, or how it works, or all of the little intricacies of it.
Being basically a couple of nerds at heart, we did all the research we could on it and decided it was something we could do.
If you're not familiar with Lamba Legal, they are kind of the legal arm. They're the ones that present cases to the Supreme Court that help to change and shape laws for the LGBT community. They have an annual gala called the Landmark Dinner, and it's a time that they have one of their major cases. The person case that they've taken up comes and speaks and addresses the audience. And it was a couple. It was two gentlemen wanting to adopt a child. And to me, an adopted child is like one of the most fortunate children because they were picked, and you could tell this child was probably going to have an amazing life. Two great, charismatic gentlemen that wanted to adopt the baby. And I always get it confused, it's one way or the other, but they were from the north and they came down to the south, a southern state, to adopt the child. So they pick up the baby, they do everything that they feel they need to do. This was all done through an attorney, so everything should be going as planned, like it would be for a heterosexual couple. They get back home and they realize when they're there that they only have one parent on the birth certificate. So they think it's an error and they call back and they go through their attorney and say, these are some of the things we need to get fixed. So one of the states will not recognize both of them as a parent. Some people would say big deal. Well, it is a big deal because the child can't get a birth certificate, they can't get immunized, they can't get registered for school, they can't get a passport, they can't get a social security number. And you start to realize this is in the United States. So we're talking 782 miles or whatever the distance is a deciding factor from one state to the next. It's like, how can that actually be the law? The host for the evening gets back up and says, realize we are making great strides, and we have made great strides, but please understand there is always someone coming behind us with deeper pockets, with a bigger agenda, trying to undo everything we're doing. So the TV's here, and my bar is here, and I'm just staring at my bar, and I got up and I took a label off one of the liquor bottles, and I got on my computer and I mocked up a label, and it said equality.
We've always wanted to reach out and try and help somebody in the community with on every business endeavor we've ever had. Bert walks in one day and he's got the bottle.
I said, I have an idea. I said, remember we'd gone to the Landmark Dinner and they talked about how there was so much injustice and how what's needed are resources. And unfortunately, the world we live in, one of those resources is financial. I said, well, what if we created a product that gave back each and every day, not just once a week, not just once a month, that every single day, every time this bottle is sold, we give a portion of profits to LGBT organizations that help to champion equality.
Whether we made a profit or not, that money would be available to be given to an LGBT organization that needed it. It was just a given at that time There was no backing up. There was no not doing it. It had to happen.
We need to be able to help affect change, and Equality Vodka's mission is to do that. It could have been anything. We chose vodka because, one, it was a little bit of what we know. I think cocktailing for a cause is a fun thing, when done responsibly, obviously. The resource of money is what's needed. And vodka is such a highly consumed item, it has the ability to fund change and fund it quickly. Whether it's buying a single drink or buying a bottle or buying a gift, it's something that's easy that we can do that helps to contribute. Warby Parker Eyewear, we've seen Tom's Shoes do that. So I think it's fantastic from a corporate responsibility that there are products doing this.
The design of the bottle was all Bert Gallagher. All I can do is sit back and take credit when nobody's around.
Every package or everything that we buy, I feel, helps to personify a little bit of what our personality is. It helps to, they're badges. We buy certain brands, we drive certain cars, we do certain things because of the way they make us feel.
The statement on the back was written by Matt Breen. Matt, at the time, was the editor-in-chief of Advocate and Out, and I called him every day for a month. And would leave a message and would leave a message and would leave a message. And one day he said, Matt Breen here, and I was completely not ready for him to do that. He said, I do this sort of thing, but I don't let anybody take advantage of my community. I explained to him who we worked with in Dallas, with Lamba Legal and some of the other organizations here. He called back like 2 hours later. To be able to tell the story of what we do and how we care and that we give back in such with such brevity and with such power was a wonderful thing. It completely took us off guard that it could be done that well that way. We're very lucky we've got a distillation process that guarantees an extremely high quality every time. Won the gold medal at the World Spirits Competition last year in San Francisco. Do the Pepsi Challenge with anybody. It's a great product.
We launched the small brand, got involved with Lamba Legal.
They recognized what we had done for them had a lot of impact on expanding the word and expanding their membership. And they gave us the Corporate Partners in Equality Award in 2013. To be given an award by people who have dedicated their lives to try and make it better for their friends, associates, and their community was moving, and it touched us deeply.
In today's date, we shouldn't be having these conversations because we, as a civilization, as a nation, as humanity, should have evolved to a point that we are respectful, understanding, and kind to one another, and accepting.
You know, one of the things that happened was Jill Salvino produced a movie called Between the Shades. And because of what we've done with the vodka, she was recommended to call me about being a part of it, being in the movie and maybe helping support it, in some way to be connected with the film. It is the most beautiful expose on the wonderfulness of diversity that anyone could ever ask for. And to have been a part of that, it is extremely exciting and has opened so many other doors for us and so many people in my life now that weren't in my life before.
As silly as it sounds, getting an Instagram message or a Facebook message of saying, hey, I found this bottle at my store, I love what you guys stand for, by a complete stranger. To know that that message is resonating and what we're set out to do is having an effect, and it is talking to the people that feel the way we do. It's
been the most rewarding thing I've ever been involved with in my life. I can't even talk about it and not get tears in my eyes. I can't talk about it without being moved, emotionally just moved to an area that kind of steals my words. It's something that one day I won't be involved with, I'll be gone, and it'll still be making sure that people are taken care of.
It is a damn good vodka. It's an award-winning vodka. It's a gold medal-winning vodka. But beyond that, it's more of a symbol and a call for change, and it's almost a medal for change. It lets you personally get involved with something and make a public stance or a private stance. That's one of the things that I love about our brand is you can be as vocal or as passive as you want, but the fact that you've engaged with it means that change means something to you.
You've got a legacy that's about to come to fruition that you didn't imagine you'd ever be able to do. And that was a lot. How do you find a moment in your life that you can help people? I mean, really help people. Change things that need to be changed and it not be emotional. I can't keep it from coming out. It's who I am. It's just who I am.